manage access, security, and maintenance for world's most popular CMS. Let me introduce myself. I'm Krishna, and I have more than 10 years of experience in design and development of cybersecurity solution, especially around identity and access management. And my colleague Pooja will also join in this session, who has over 16 years of experience in the product development. So today we are excited to present a comprehensive solution that improves the user experience, strengthens the security, and reduce the maintenance for world's most popular CMS. Let's check some statistics for this popular CMS. So this CMS basically has 62.2% share if we talk about the CMS market share. In terms of websites, out of all the websites, 43.7% websites are built on this CMS, which attributes to around 488 million websites. Again, this CMS also being used in the e-commerce segment. So if it compare the numbers with e-commerce, e-commerce could be like the Shopify is one of the giant name in the e-commerce market. But this CMS is being used in 36.3% share in the e-commerce market. Now, the popularity of this CMS can be evident from the fact that there are 30,000 themes and 70,000 plugins are available for this CMS. So guys, this CMS is none other than WordPress, which is an open source content management system that allows users to create the websites and manage the websites, right? So something about WordPress, what it is. So due to the availability of these themes and plugins, users can create the websites without having much knowledge of coding. And that's why this CMS is being used in creating the sites for like blogging, e-commerce, education, healthcare, and due to the large scale of the WordPress, use of WordPress, it is important to manage it efficiently. Guys, we are not talking about managing one site here. There are multiple. You can see how vastly it is used. So we are talking about managing the multiple WordPress site. An individual or business can have multiple WordPress sites to manage, and that's why there should be a way to manage all these websites from a central platform, right? You can't just go and log into each site and try to manage all the sites individually. Now, before we discuss the solution, let's first understand what are the key components of this WordPress. Okay, so we'll go one by one through these components. WordPress core, it consists of all the foundational files that a WordPress site requires to work. It allows functionalities like login into the admin side of the WordPress site. Maybe you can add and update some pages and post, and then you can manage the users. So there's a WordPress core. Now, this comes with the basic installation of the WordPress. Now, if you want to add some next functionalities, then the second component comes into picture is themes, right? So themes are basically the ready-made templates which are used to design your website as per your business requirement. Let's say you want to create a healthcare website or maybe e-commerce website. So you can choose the theme according to your business. Plugins. Plugins are basically the additional features or functionalities which are not present in the WordPress core. And basically, let's say WordPress core comes with some specific functionalities. If you want to add some other functionalities, or if you want to update whatever available in the WordPress, then you'll need to install and use the plugins. And these themes and plugins are basically used by some third-party vendors. Users are basically the individuals who log into your into the WordPress sites, or basically they log into your WordPress site to manage the site, or these are the users who can log into your site to get the services that are offered by your business. Medias are basically whatever images, videos that you are showing to your users that are handled in the WordPress. So basically, these are the components that we need to take care of while managing the WordPress site. Now we'll discuss the challenges faced in managing the multiple WordPress sites, because growing number of WordPress sites increases the complexities, right? So the challenges, first of all, we will discuss about lack of central access control. Imagine you have multiple WordPress sites right now. Which user has access to which site, right? Are you going to log in into each and every site and then defining the access into that site? It becomes overwhelming, right? So if there's a central platform and you can define the roles and capabilities that a user will have, it will be great. But if right now you need to go and log in into each and every websites and then manage the access for each user. We'll talk about the manual updates and the security vulnerabilities. So imagine logging into multiple WordPress site and then updating the plugins, because these themes and plugins, these are provided by third parties. So you need to keep on managing these plugins and themes and keep on updating these plugins and themes, right? So imagine you log in into multiple WordPress sites and then manually updating these plugins and themes, right? And if you are not doing that, then these outdated components sometimes becomes the entry point for the cyber attacks. Version controlling. By default, WordPress doesn't provide the version controlling. So reverting back to the previous version, it becomes difficult. Performance optimization. So optimizing performance across multiple sites is complex and resource intensive. We need to identify what are the bottlenecks in each of the sites, like whether it is a slow loading pages, or maybe it is because of some web hosting. So it requires continuous monitoring, but again, checking each and every sites one by one, it becomes difficult. And then the backup and data loss. So ensuring reliable and consistent backups for all the sites is a challenge. If you fail to backup the data, it can lead to a permanent data loss in case there is a crash, or there is a cyber attack, or there are some vulnerabilities introduced on your site, right? So these are some of the challenges which are faced while managing the multiple WordPress sites. Now we'll talk about what is the solution for that, right? Unified WordPress site management. So we are talking about a platform which can manage all your WordPress site efficiently, right? And when I say unified WordPress site management, what are the features that you will be looking into this platform? Obviously, a unified dashboard where you can see all your websites. And let's say another example would be if since WordPress, since let's say you are a web agency, right? You are developing or managing the sites for your clients, right? So how about this unified dashboard, this dashboard managing all your clients, right? All your portfolios, their websites into a single view, right? So this becomes important if we talk about this central platform. Role-based access control, right? So I'll again take the example of a web agency, right? So let's say you have given the employee of your agency an access to the sites of the client A, right? The same user can have the access to the sites of client B, but the access can be different, right? In one of the site, he can act as an admin. In another site, he can just act as an editor, right? In another site, he can just act as a maybe contributor, right? These are basically some of the roles which are present in the WordPress. So I'm taking the example of available WordPress roles, right? So defining the roles from this central platform, like the employees of that web agency, what role will have for, let's say, client A, client B, it becomes easy from this unified dashboard. And the best way would be, let's say if the employees leave the organization, then just through the single click, you should be able to deprovision that employee, that user from all the WordPress sites of all the clients, right? If it is not done, then imagine like employee leave the organization and still that employee has the access to few of the sites of the client. Centrally managed plugins and themes. So managing all your plugins and themes from the single dashboard, you can see what version of the plugins and theme is installed on your site. Is there any new version available? Because vendors who are developing these plugins and themes, they keep on release the new version. So it is important to keep the install the latest version of the plugins and themes, right? So from a single dashboard, you can figure out what is the version of the plugin or theme installed on your site, and what is the if there is any update available on that site. Centralized security monitoring. So no need to check security issues by logging into each site. You can get all the security and vulnerabilities from the this single platform. Backup and recovery. Again, taking the backup of all your WordPress sites, even the databases that are connected to those WordPress sites, it becomes easy from a central platform. And then you can restore those versions of WordPress sites or the database from the same platform. Even you can schedule the backup and restore of those WordPress and plugins and themes. Performance monitoring and real-time notifications. So whatever, let's say if there is any vulnerabilities introduced, you don't need to wait for the till the next time you will log in into your website. The platform should be able to send the notification, or there is a vulnerability, maybe a vulnerability introduced in the plugin, right? Sometimes because as I mentioned initially, these plugins and themes are developed by third parties, right? So there could be a chance that the new version that has been just updated has some vulnerabilities, right? So till the time you will log in next time and you are waiting, maybe so you don't need to wait for the next time you log in. You will get the notification, okay, on this site there is a vulnerability in the current version of the plugin, so just uninstall this plugin, or maybe install the new version if in case there is a new version available. Okay, centralized access control. Why it matters? Because it is crucial for the organizations managing multiple sites, as it simplifies employee access management. Without a centralized system, it's easy to lose track of who has access to which site, right? And apart from that, like in case there is a role changed in the organization, sometimes there's a promotion, demotion, or the department gets changed, right? So obviously the access to the site will also get changed, right? So centralized access control is important. Then the single sign-on, right? We are talking about like login into each and every sites every time I'm explaining something here, right? So are you going to remember the password for each and every site, right? It doesn't make sense. We are like humans, right? We forget even the one single password, right? Right now we are moving towards some passwordless authentication systems, right? So a single sign-on plays a crucial role, right? You log in into a central platform, then from there you access to all the WordPress sites for which you have the authorization. And whatever activity you are doing, that will be logged through the central platform. Okay. So we were talking about making the user experience better. Now, along with making the user experience better, we should also know that there should be a need to enhance the security, right? And when we talk about the security, the first thing that comes into our mind is enabling the two-factor authentication, right? Two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication. basically what you know, your username and password, what you have, basically it could be the OTP or any token based app, and what you are, which is your maybe fingerprint or face, right? So it's important to enable the two-factor authentication on each and every website. Securing the sign up and registrations. Again, there should be no fake registration happen on your website. So it's important to secure those sign ups using maybe some email verification or OTP verification. Protect your website without slowing it down. So which can be done by like removing unnecessary plugins, enabling caching, optimize and reduce the size of images, checking if there's an issue with the web hosting, and if there are any outdated WordPress versions, plugins and themes you are using. So you can check that and remove those. So you can check, you should do these things on your website so that it doesn't slow down. And if a website slows down, it not only impacts your SEO, but it also impacts the overall user experience of your site. Real-time notifications for any vulnerability found in the plugins, as I mentioned earlier. You should get all the notifications for any vulnerabilities introduced on your WordPress due to any updates or the new plugins or themes that is installed on your site. No blacklisting on Google. So Google flags sites if it found some malicious or spam content on your site by displaying some of the warnings like deceptive site ahead. This site may harm your computer. You might have seen these kind of messages. So if you encounter any of these messages from the Google, it means there's a strong indication that your site has been hacked, and you need and there's a need for immediate attention to figure that out. And obviously, if it is blacklisted, that means Google will de-index your site and it will not come into the search results. Automated security scans. So basically to figure out if there is any malware on your site. So malware scanner should be there to scan your site. Blocking the brute force attacks. It's important for a site and it can be done by, there are so many things. Few of the things I'll tell you now, which is unique username and strong password. So that is one. Then you can limit the login attempts by blocking the IPs after a certain number of failed attempts. Two-factor authentication, again, that needs to be enabled to, if in case you want to block the brute force attacks. Since we are talking about WordPress, so WordPress has the standard login page URL. So changing the login page URL is important. And you can also use the web application firewall to filter and block the malicious traffic on your site. And CAPTCHA, very important. There are different types of CAPTCHA available. We'll also discuss that in the later part of this session. But yeah, enabling the CAPTCHA and then restricting the access to the login page for the specific IPs. There's a concept of XML RPC in the WordPress remote procedure call. So in case your site is not using that, then it is recommended to disable those disable that XML RPC. Next is static code analysis. So by scanning the PHP code present in the WordPress core or the plugins or the themes, it is easy to identify if there is any vulnerability. Vulnerabilities like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, CSRF, etc. And it can also be helpful to identify if there is any coding standard violations and if there are any deprecated functions or APIs being used. And protecting the endpoints of your site from being unauthorized access. So by default, there are some open endpoints available in WordPress when you install that WordPress site. So it is important to secure those endpoints. Okay. So we talked about experience, we talk about security. The next is maintenance. So you can manage the updates of WordPress core, plugins, and themes from this central platform. You can schedule the maintenance. You can define a time interval when you need to take the backup and when you need to restore in case there is an issue, right? There's also a concept called automatic restore or automatic updates, which is also used for maintenance. But uh, the functionality is like you can, whenever there is a new version of the plugin or theme is available, it will automatically updates. But you don't need to be so in a hurry to install it as soon as the new version is available. You can wait for a day or two, and you can define such interval. Okay, when the new version is available, maybe you'll update it after certain period of time, right? Sometimes a new version has some vulnerabilities, so you will not be in trouble if you will just set the automatic updates instantly, right? And performance optimization, which can be done by enabling the caching on your site, optimizing the images, and minifying the CS, JS, HTML. And you can also check if your plugins and themes are you are lightweight and not using the database connections heavily. Okay. Now, what are the benefits if you handle all the websites from the unified dashboard, unified platform? Uh, First of all, it increases the efficiency, right? It will lower down your cost. Less resources would be required to manage all the WordPress sites. User experience will get better. And you can control the access of a site from the single dashboard. Okay, so how will you do that, right? So first of all, you need to identify all your WordPress sites and then figure out what are the critical features that you need for the management. Okay, and then evaluate the tool as per your requirement, right? Once the tool is selected, you just need to onboard all your WordPress sites on that tool and enable the security features. That is important. And then define the access control so that there is no unauthorized access to the sites, and the schedule the maintenance. And just keep regularly review this strategy and see if there is any change in the strategy, then you can do that. Okay. So now I would like to invite Pooja to demonstrate the miniOrange tool for this WordPress site management.
Hello everyone, I'm Pooja Uniyal. I'm working as an engineering manager at miniOrange. Today I would like to tell you about a product which we are specifically designing for the web agencies. Now the aim of this particular product is to streamline their workload and enable them efficiently manage the client portfolios. Now that's the login screen, but before that, the agency needs to sign up with us. For the sign up, on the first screen, we are taking the agency details followed by the user details, where for the user who will be actually administrating the particular web agency portal. Once the user is going to sign up with us, a mail will be shoot out to that particular user, from where he can verify his email ID and set up the password. And after that, after logging into the system, there are three main entities which we are going to cover today. The very first entity is the user, which is a very critical component of WordPress websites. And from this particular screen, the agency can add the new users by clicking on the add button, or in case the user list is extensive, we have also given a feature to import it. Now on the add new user screen, you must have seen this particular field, which is the user role. Now this role only pertains to the agency portal, not for the client portfolio applications. So once we have added a new user, the next entity is the client. The clients are basically customers for whom the website is managing those websites. So under the client, we are taking the basic information like the client name, logo, details of the company, etc. The third entity is application. So when we are going to click on a particular client, we can add the various applications or the websites which the web agency is managing for that particular customer. On the add application screen, you must have seen the app. We are taking few fields like the application name, the application type, the URL. Under the application URL, for now, we have given two different types. First one is WordPress, other one is the custom. When you are clicking on the WordPress site, you'll get one more feature to enable single sign-on. After doing that, after saving those particular application, now we have two different endpoints. One is the agency portal, other one is the WordPress website. We don't have any connection between those two endpoints. So for that, we need to have a plugin. So this is the plugin installation screen from where we have given two different options. One is you can automatically auto install the plugin. You can directly put the website credentials like the username and the password for the admin panel, and we'll install that plugin for you. Other one is the manual installation where you can download the plugin and install it on your own. After installing that particular plugin, we'll be giving access to a user for that particular application to get managed. For that, we'll be opening the add access page, add action page. Herein, you are selecting the user, we are selecting the client, we are choosing the application, and we are adding a role. Now, this particular role is of the WordPress website. Now here we have selected administrator as a role. Now, if I'm going to go back to the application listing page and play. If we are going to go back to the application listing page, you can see that arrow. After clicking that arrow, you can see that the website has opened and the user has already been signed up. And if we are going to check the role has already been assigned as administrator, which we selected at the web agency portal application. Now, when we are going to click at the application name, again, we are back to the web agency portal. If you are going to click at the application name, that's the dashboard, which Krishna mentioned in this presentation. So this is the dashboard which we have implemented. We have given certain tiles or the blocks or the features, you can say. At the very first block, we have shown the application information, the application URL, and the SSO button. On the next, we have shown are the PHP and the WordPress versions. And in case the versions are outdated, it is going to notify the users to update the versions, move to the latest versions. The next one is the quick starts, wherein we have listed out the important components of WordPress. Like we have 7 plugins, 15 themes, and 2 different users. Now, if I'm going to talk about the plugins, so that's the plugin page. That's the plugin page wherein we are showing all the active installed plugins or the deactivated ones. Now, in case we have a requirement and we would like to install any other new plugin, in that particular case, we can search the marketplace, the WordPress marketplace, and install the new plugins. So that's the WordPress marketplace. You can search for the plugins and you can install those plugins from here itself. Now, coming back to the listing page, you can see the blue dot. That means an update is available for that particular plugin. You can install the update and you can activate the plugin. Now, moving back to the next component, which was themes. Moving back to the next component, which was themes. Themes is again similar to plugins, and I'm not going to cover that in depth because it is similar to plugins. The next component which I'm going to cover is the users, from where you can take care of provisioning and deprovisioning of users. When I'm going to give access to a particular user for this particular website, the user will get created onto the WordPress site. If I'm going to revoke the access from the web agency portal, the user profile will get deleted or deactivated. That depends on the client's requirement. Now, moving on to the next row, the 3 very important features which we have given. The very first one is the performance metrics, wherein you can see the performance score of your website, the page size, the landing page size. When we are going to see the details section, here you can see the 2 graphs which are on a weekly basis. You can analyze those graphs and generate the data out of it. Next, diagnostic results. Under diagnostic results, we are checking the performance of the website and the user experience based on certain parameters, like how much time the first content of the page is taking to load, to getting rendered, how much time the largest piece of content is taking time to getting rendered, what is the page speed and all. Next one is the broken link scanner, wherein we are going to scan the entire WordPress website for the broken links, the 400 and 500 error range. So in case we found one, we are going to list down all those pages for the user to get them fixed quickly. Now, moving back to the dashboard, the next and important critical feature is the security and firewall, under which we are going to scan the entire website and give you the list of vulnerabilities and the malwares present in the website. These are the basic guidelines, security guidelines for the WordPress, which one must take care of while developing a WordPress website. So we are also going to do the static code analysis based on these guidelines and are going to notify you about that. Next feature which we have given is the bot protection and IP configurations. Now what happens is in WordPress, if you are going to put the wrong credentials, it is going to notify you as incorrect username or incorrect password. In that case, it gives a valuable clue to the hackers and your site could be at risk. Now, when we have given this particular feature, we can enable the bot protection. You can even give the custom error messages. We can block the user agents. We can whitelist IPs. We can even block IPs. We can play it. I have added one blocked IP, and you can see that. You'll see that onto the next page, the IP, the request coming from that particular IP will be blocked. Now, if I'm going to hit from that particular IP, it is going to say access denied. The next is the access control rules, again, on which if we don't want to certain URLs to get access to, then we can block those URL paths for the certain IPs. Moving on to the next one. The next one is the Google CAPTCHA. You can configure Google CAPTCHA over here. You can put in the secret key, the site key and the secret key after generating it from Google. Under this, what happens is at the login screen, it is going to give you a checkbox that I'm not a robot. And in case Google is feeling that it could be a malicious attack, it is going to throw the challenges. So that's under the Google CAPTCHA part. I know it doesn't add a good user experience to it. For that, we are also planning to integrate invisible CAPTCHAs, which could be behavioral pattern based. Next is the country block, wherein if we are getting malicious attacks again and again from a certain geolocations, we can even block those. Next, moving on to the next set of features. The next set of feature includes backup and restoration part, wherein if you are going to enable this particular feature, we have given you a configuration from where you can set the backups. You can choose the remote settings, like where you would like your backups to be stored. You can even opt for miniOrange S3 buckets, your own S3 buckets. We can configure anything for you. And even you can create the backups and download and save it at your end. Next option which we have given over here is, like if you don't want to take the entire backup of the site and you would like to exclude certain folders and files, then you can do that. We have given a frequency wherein you can set the file backups at a different frequency and database backup at a different frequency. Now coming back to the backup, that's the backup dashboard wherein you can see the analytics of the backups done. Moving on, we have one restoration page from where you can either download the backup or we can restore those backups for you. If you have given up our time for us, if you have given us a path, then in that particular case, we can even restore those backups for you. Now moving back to the dashboard, we have 3 more important features. The very first one would be the activity log, which is very important from the compliance point of view. We are tracking all the activity logs, which activities which have been done at the WordPress website end, and for the website which are done from this particular portal. Next is the add note section. Under the add note section, if the particular customer has given few specific instructions, we can jot down the instructions and the person coming to this portal can have access to those instructions and follow them. So that's it on the demo side. If you have any questions for me, will be happy to answer that. And please do visit booth number 5. We'll give an elaborated demo to you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. The floor is open for questions. Please raise your hands and we'll get the mic to you.
You can scan this QR code and give us your feedback.
Please scan this QR code to give them a feedback.
And for more details and question answer, we can meet outside or you can visit booth number 5 in the exhibition hall. Thank you.
So my question is that how WordPress is different from other CMS platforms like Joomla, Drupal, and what makes it unique from other platforms? So my question is that how WordPress is different from other platforms like Joomla and Drupal, and what makes it unique from other platforms, CMS platforms?
I guess in the statistics side, I added the details of there are 30,000 themes available and 70,000 plugins available to create and manage this WordPress site. So this is the most and biggest differentiator from all other CMS platforms like Drupal, Joomla, Moodle or any other. The usability and the functionality that WordPress provide, it is way far ahead of other platforms. But there are differentiation also. Drupals, I would say, if you are concerned about security, so in the core itself, they take care of the security. So that's why the Drupal is popular from the security point of view. But let's say you don't know the code, right? Anyone wants to build the site, then the WordPress will be that platform that will be picked up by those people.
Is there any particular scenario in which I choose WordPress or Joomla? Maybe like I have heard about like if I am using any government website, so I should use Drupal.
Yeah, so when you say government sites, right, so they take security is paramount for them, right? So they will choose the Drupal. In my experience, in the last 10 years, I could see the biggest clients on the CMS platform, they are using the Drupal, and it is the same reason because the security that Drupal provides is way far better than the WordPress. WordPress has the other advantage, like it's not like it's not secure. You can make it secure by using all the security plugins that are available in the WordPress marketplace.